playing quite well as a group. Which, as you said, like there's a fair bit of mixing from different scenes here. It can be challenging sometimes to get everybody on the same page over the course of a short tournament, but sometimes even by day 2, teams have kind of figured out the stuff that they didn't quite have right early on. Oh, I'm being corrected. Ian Burke is from Montreal. Whoops. Ian, sorry. You're a very good Smash Bros. Player too, and I'm happy to see you on the court here. There are a bunch of us that was an early COVID activity, keeping in touch with some dodgeball folks, playing in a bit of a Smash Bros. League.
Yep. So we're going to see different styles on the opening rush with the sister squad using a 1 ball on the inside, 2 on the out, and the reverse going for BAM. So it'll be interesting to watch BAM, what they're doing with the 2 inner balls. Often that's a defensive stance as the person grabs 2 balls and retreats. Sometimes it's a grab and toss, but they themselves are now defended with a ball. There's kind of no major differences between the 2 styles, but I would expect that the sister squad would be a little bit more aggressive with the toss back to Joey LeBlanc, the middle player.
Yeah, I think that's very likely to be the case. We should also point out that one difference in playoffs between, or as compared to the round robin, is that these matches will actually be a half hour long, as reflected up on the timer there on the board already. So a little bit more action. And the stamina and conditioning of everybody involved a little bit more important.
Mm-hmm. We wait with excited anticipation.
That's right.
The refs are just checking. Okay, I think we can get going now.
Yeah, the whole venue on the same clock, so making sure everything on all applicable courts is ready. Refs checking in with everybody on this court.
Hey.
And they're off.
It seems like a great feed now, eh?
Yeah, it seems much clearer now than it was at certain points when we were struggling a little bit with the technology. We did see Gray hit out there off the rush. And wow, maybe a double off the bat for Sister Squad. So
that center's taken out.
Hollowing out their opponents.
And some good communication when a player's running into the center, and then kind of number 8 on Sister Squad, making sure to go out to the outside corner to tell Corey Olko what the shot was.
Number 8 there is Will Andrusek, playing out of Ottawa last year. First time national team member in Cancun. I say last year of like high level competition.
Yeah. From the time before.
It was. He's a good young player from Ottawa. I know I faced him a few times in tournaments, and he's just really solid at all the fundamentals, I think. Good hard throw, good catching, good decision making.
Excellent rebounding there by Corey on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Corey, a veteran, has spent several years in the national team as well. He's a very smart player with excellent catching ability.
2 band players doing great jobs getting low. One strafing to the side excellently. Just almost, I can't tell if that is Real Wilmot there.
It is indeed.
Yeah, kind of friend of Dodgeball and consummate commentator Stacey Hewen would often refer to him as an anchor. And this is what he's been right there. It's just the hardest guy to get out.
Yeah, he's very good at folding up behind those balls, staying low. He's very mobile as well. Mm-hmm. He also has pretty good hops. Like he doesn't jump very often, but when he does, I feel a little surprised just how much reach he can get up there.
Get that vertical. Okay. Dennis with the inside run. Slides, toss back. It looks like both players miss.
Close calls. Those 2 middle players just missing each other. And a little bit of talk. The ref saying, yeah, it's your throw. Nice shot from LeBlanc, just missing. Quesnel on the right, rocking that vibrant colored headband. And nice block.
Oh, some good vertical there by the player wearing 23. Just did a good, one of the things I appreciate is when people can do a jump block. Oh, and their reflected ball hit it right onto another teammate. Those are the moments where you feel bad. You do a good block and then you realize you blocked it into another person.
Yeah, feel like a bad teammate sometimes, but nice jump by Dennis on the right side. And yeah, 23 there is Jess Gray, who again plays out of
Elite.
Ottawa,
Yeah.
and last year was on our women's team in 2019 in Cancun. I think that was her first year in the national program and acquitted herself quite well.
I think she was wearing an incredibly bright yellow jersey yesterday, so it was very easy to point her out.
Yeah. I feel like my teams have often had like the slightly too common red and black motif with like some
Okay.
white trim, but I really like. I mean, we've seen, if you remember at Nationals in 2019, I think it was the Arfangs team out of Quebec just had
Yeah.
like neon stained glass window sort of
Yeah, exactly.
motifs.
Yeah.
I like those a lot.
I do enjoy how the sport has embraced different neon colors within jerseys.
Yeah, we see both LeBlanc and Quesnel with some pretty bright shirts themselves. And someone's asking if we played Smash Bros. Together.
I just upset you. Are we internet friends?
Yeah, we may have if you were in that Smash League that Steve Chatterton was running, then it's very possible. I was in there partly with my name Terry and partly my gamer tag, I guess, was probably Levity at the time. So could be. It was a lot of fun playing with some people, some of whom I've never actually met in real life too, but quite a few folks like Cody Dan Foley and Tuan Nguyen in there. Oh, Quesnel hit out. Nice shot from Wilmot. It's not the hardest throw, but he's really good at picking his spots and aiming it where he needs to.
Yeah, it really did seem like Dennis wasn't kind of sure of how to defend himself, and maybe what we're seeing there that was Wilmot had just excellent positioning and caught him on a moment where he was in between, stepping back, and a lot of dodgeball, like people are prepared to block it almost all time. So like getting that off moment could be your edge.
Yeah, there is. I mean, your throw has to be hard enough for competitive play, but it doesn't have to be like absurdly hard, right? Like I think in the men's game, I've often heard like a target of like maybe 90 to 100 kilometers an hour is kind of what's like going to be fine. And then after that, like accuracy matters so much, decision making matters so much. We see Luke hit out. Gray just avoiding that one near her feet.
And a big part of baseball in the last couple of years talk about spin rate, and harder in dodgeball because there's no seams. There is the kind of the insertion point for the needle, so there's an opportunity to be grabbing it there. And of course, as the ball gets a little bit more, and you might be getting more and more of a grip on it, but there is opportunity for some throws to have more spin on them, and that's where you can get a player who's used to catching. And here we are. Another point on the board. It's 1-1, I think, now for BAM versus Sister Squad.
Yeah, BAM coming through there with the big hits at the end. Sadly, because it's just a little bit fuzzy for me. I can't even tell which players those were who finished it off sometimes, but good way to close it out and tie this one up. And I fully expect it's going to be pretty close as we make our way through this match.
And Terry, have you been working on any curveballs during the off time?
No, I actually, so I had ripped a few forearm muscles throwing too many curveballs just before COVID. So I've been trying to, when I have been practicing, it's been working a little bit more on just the straight four-finger fastball.
Yep. In early weeks of COVID, I thought I was doing a great job staying fit and exercising, and I just took too much of a break throwing. And it really hurt both shoulders.
Yeah, Sister Squad does, in fact, have 7 folks on. That's too many.
Whoops. This is not all in.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm curious to see what they'll do about that, because it is, I mean, in some ways it's an advantage, of course. In some other ways, like, it doesn't leave you a lot of room to move around, so.
True. Well, there should be the equivalent of a false start, at least.
Yeah.
If there's a rule lacking there, I don't think the default should be okay. You can just go off, choose a player.
Yeah, normally I actually am not sure what the official rule on that is because normally I'm very used to seeing both the teams and the refs kind of being careful about how many people are starting on, but
Yeah,
obviously mistakes do happen.
yeah, and it's just a fun weekend.
And so now it's come close to even out again. There are still 5 left on the sister squad. Barry, hit out. Oh,
Ankle
nice
shot there.
shot.
Cross court, a good block.
Believe that's Holzer still throwing with the white hat on.
So we can mix in some football. Like anytime you see like too many men on the field, you're like, oh, can't believe it. Like, but still, like because there's so many formations, you can believe it a little bit more. That like one extra guy, but oh, I thought there was this play and I should be in the middle.
Yeah, it's a little different in some other sports, obviously. We see coming to the line, we've got Bam taking aim, but Burke kind of pushing them back a little bit.
Dennis with the play call and sister squad.
Yeah, and looks like Lily Lau able to avoid that shot. Coming up to the line, and they are going toward Oikel. So not a lot of balls left on the BAM side now. They were trying to catch somebody off guard. Wilmot is going to take what's left and play high with it, play defense. Good movement to get small.
Oh, that's incredible. And, you know, one thing I noticed is so Oikel threw the ball quite low on him, at least it seemed that way to me on the stream. And he was very active with defending himself and pushed the ball away. Oh. And
yeah, they got Quesnel there for sure. Gray.
I think that was okay. There was a question mark whether he was a dead player at the time.
Yeah, but I believe the ball that hit Gray, it did hit Quesnel after he'd been hit by the first one, but that first ball hadn't actually gone dead yet, so he was still a live player.
Yep. Be interesting if he catches the ball. That would be a live catch, but he's still dead because the second ball hit him, hit her. They go off, but a new player gets to go on.
Call those the reffing nightmares sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And because we don't have instant replay, we'll just never know those moments.
Burke and Oikel talking things over. They go wide, and Burke absorbing that attack. Oh, nice catch!
Oh, she positioned herself well. It was his throw number 2.
Yeah, and that was that was pretty key to securing that point.
Yeah, TSN turning point right there. Just where catches could have made all the difference.
Yeah, you've got to be careful about where you're placing those shots. I'm sure Burke would like to have that one back because it was straight on. It was on target, which is good for getting the hits. But against somebody who's ready to make those catches, it's easier to make one in the middle than off center. So great grab on her part. And we see that 1-for-1 off the rush.
Yeah. It was interesting. Lefty throwing at the player there just had a great inside shot on their opponent.
And so we see Bam so far able to close some of those points out when things get a little more difficult.
Yeah,
we'll see if they're able to keep it going. Ooh, Holzer's hat knocked off there. He seems to be fine, but I think that was the shot from Burke doing a little bit of apparel-related damage. And it looks like they don't connect with anyone there. Wilmot and Lau. And someone else. I'm sorry, I don't know quite who the other player is on the BAM side.
I believe that'd be Jen Woodley right there.
Okay.
So she's traveled all the way from Texas.
Yeah, that is a journey. I wonder if that's the farthest anyone's come.
I know imagine.
Azalea Donch lives in California. Another contender there.
Well, and the question is it probably more inconvenient and expensive to come from Nova Scotia?
Yeah, it's possible too.
like Houston, Calgary, it's got to be pretty straightforward. Aside from international travel right now, amazing jumps by Real right now. This is again the survivor in him.
Good
Ball
fakes
retriever
from
doing exactly.
yeah. Yeah, Wilmot showing that elusiveness. There are still 5 opponents. They will probably have a hard time actually getting him down, though.
And what's interesting is there'll be a battle between ball advantage and player advantage. And oh, great shot! And one thing that will be a factor for Real will be how his ball retrievers prepare him. You can see someone from the backcourt through it to the side, and then there's going to be the roll in just in time.
Yeah, there are definitely some things you want to make sure you're doing if you are one of those ball retrievers in terms of getting. Oh, nice! Actually closed out there. Wilmot doing a good job still of making himself very hard to hit, but finally
Yep.
Sister Squad able to do so and even things up. But yes, ball retrievals. Yeah, got to be careful to get those balls back in the player's hand at smart moments. You don't want to create situations where they're kind of vulnerable to attacks from the other players who are obviously watching for that moment when they turn their head to find a ball. So,
Yep.
broke hit out there off the rush by Holzer, I believe. Yeah, I think the chat was correct. Nova Scotia is farther than the southern U.S. part, so I feel like in my head it's just like, oh, other parts of Canada, that's close, but Canada's big.
Enormous, yeah, and yeah, I pity the kind of Eastern dodgeball players for the travel costs they'd have to endure, just in terms of like very few direct flights, that sort of thing. They'd probably be stopping Montreal, Toronto, and then make their way over.
And obviously, in reverse, when Halifax was hosting nationals or Charlottetown in 2019, you kind of get the experience almost no matter where you're from.
Yeah, that's kind of the neat part too about these dodgeball tournaments is it might be the first time.
Oh,
great catch sliding.
Yeah, Oikel just making that work. And sudden death. I mean, that's a nice way to go into sudden death.
Yeah, you +1 a player, you took out another on the other side. Meanwhile, this BAM is going to have a ball per player, so it's not like there's too much of a difference on that initial moment where they begin. But to have these Jocelyn in the back and Burke being able to shadow.
Yeah, Jocelyn Luke, who also was part of the national program in 2019. Ooh, just Lau left.
Situation. She's got 4 or 5 balls to her, if not all the balls.
Yeah,
wow, so
expect a couple of quick throws before the other team can get set up on defense.
There's an awkward tosses from the ball retriever trying to just go right into her pocket. That we just better to do a bounce pass because our brains are so good at being able to read those.
Still allowed to throw, Andrusik. Yeah, okay, so Andrusik tried the counter, but it looks like Oikel was hit.
Yeah. Okay, 1v4.
Allow a little bit closer.
Ready to rifle it. Attempted catch! And wow, Jocelyn, just victory she just pounced at it. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think that's something she definitely looks to do. She's a great catcher on straight up shots, but also, as you can kind of see there, tracking down something bouncing off a teammate. So
COVID high fives.
Yeah, that's right. Staying safe. Safe.
I think good thing for the sport in general, my likelihood of getting sick of the tournament, I hope we're going to carry forward some of these practices.
Yeah, I plan to never high five anyone ever again.
Maybe air high fives, though, right?
Yes, sure.
But then that could be misinterpreted, and I'll just go and slap some skin.
I think generally the high five lines, it's kind of nice that people do the, like in most situations, they do the good sporting thing. So we see the rush right away. Holzer into
Dominant. Yeah. So that was a good opportunity for him to get the rusher while they were still just grabbing balls, essentially.
Yeah, I think Bam has just been a little bit quicker getting to those balls and getting them in the hands of their attacking player off the rush. So that is an advantage for sure. Gives them a good chance to start with a slight player edge, although obviously it's far from insurmountable. And it has been even as we expected so far.
Back and forth, good counter. Appreciate Bam doing a good job on the left side. I think that's Torin McNeil right there. Very strong left-handed throw. And he maintains the attack zone and very slow to retreat in general.
I like when players try to, like right now, nobody's kind of trying to control the line. I think it's good when players do try to keep that pressure up, make it hard for the offensive team to actually set up and take those offensive shots.
Yeah, I'd love like an advanced stat. So like the opening rush line or the like attack line. If like time in attack zone, where like how often like a percent of the match a player it has their body almost up. Oh, Real almost went into it. But as the sister squad moves into it, how long they're able to actually stay in that zone.
Yeah, there are. This is going way outside of traditional sports a bit, but if you ever follow League of Legends, they have stats like a forward percentage for players and proximity to other players available, which I think is a
That's
interesting
good.
inspiration perhaps for the types of advanced stats we might want to consider.
Well, and one of the things we're watching here is Jessica Gray was doing great work pressuring while in a non-dominant position there, in that like she moved forward to protect her teammates and draw fire, and now they've got kind of ball majority and the ability to control the court, even though it's 3-on-3.
And the shots toward the middle on Lau. Just miss.
Lau with a great job of doing elbows in. So you wanting to catch and thinking, the cats uses their whiskers to kind of know their body size and just being able to put your elbows in and have kind of better control of your catch zone.
Third ball finding the mark on Dennis Quesnel on the far left side. So just 2 remaining for the sister squad. And just 2 remaining on Bam as well. Just 1 now as they find Holzer. Good attacking at the line. They spent all the balls to do it.
Yeah.
And so Lau will have a lot to work with now.
Oh,
Going
maybe
pretty conservative.
I think there was a count clock on her there with that throw. Oh,
Yeah, that seems plausible.
The rebound tempting by Joy LeBlanc, but he kept his hands back. No greedy fingers today for that one.
So good when you make it, and so frustrating when you don't. Baird with the attack there.
Excellent move. And so, because it doesn't matter if Lau had a ball and was able to throw it and do a trade, because you had the player advantage. So she made sure it was a hard, accurate throw. And you could just see the way she approached. It was kind of a defenseless run. And that's okay, because if she takes out the other player, it's set over.
Yeah, and so sister squad extending that edge a little bit, and this time they're able to kind of win the rush play. Holzer knocked out.
Blanc on, Real out.
Wilmot as well, so Quesnel hit out on the exchange. So slight edge right now for the sister squad. Oh, actually, no. It's even again. I didn't see when they lost their extra player, and they're going to get a player back.
That is okay. Now, like the odds of the whole match just shifted with a 2-point advantage, making a catch there, and now we have 5 players versus 3. The odds of them getting this point just skyrocketed. What a play right there!
We saw the respectful clap from the band player as well. Just nice shot as well, kind of furthering. Snipes. Yeah, sometimes, of course, you just have to acknowledge the effort from the other team. Bam, though, far from out of it. They have ball control. They're looking for Burke there. And we've got things getting a little bit laggy for me, at least.
Yeah.
So a little bit hard to say what's happening there. Except
Okay.
we see Bam down to just one.
Pretty strong player, though, and looks like he got a hit.
And I think that one
There we
was a little bit
go.
up high.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sister Squad, again, just clutching out those points. That team catch turning into the difference, I'd say, just putting them in position to make this their point. They go up 5-2. Still doable for Bam, but it's getting harder with every
Yep.
passing minute now.
That catch made a huge difference. And so, one thing from the stream chat, stay positive. I believe that's you, Mike Bailey. We're going to be checking to see if the standings results are public. Just sent the message, and should get back to you shortly. A lot of action just now. Hey, even if it's a little bit choppy, just hit. Balls flying.
Yeah, and I mean, this one is now firmly under Bam's control, as they just have Luke and Bear to try and deal with, as they are still 5 strong.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's anyone's game still. Odds shifting constantly throughout the match. Torrance taken out. Great shot by Jen Woodley on the far left. Both teams slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, so with McNeil out, it gets a little bit easier perhaps for Sister Squad, but doesn't mean it'll actually be easy. And so Bam hoping to secure this point fairly quickly, give themselves time to make that comeback. I think they got Luke out on the side.
Yeah. And
And yeah.
as much as it was chunks, it was kind of fun to be like good solid throw, and then a whole bunch of balls and a disappointing player. Oh, okay. We can piece together what happens.
Maybe the internet connection here at the venue, not sure, but a little bit of a slideshow, and like you said, a pretty entertaining one for us. So, but Baird hit out there at the end, and off the rush again. Bulls are really quick getting that ball and getting a shot away. Just not quite on the mark that time.
That looks very good though. Yeah. Sister Squad to the line.
And it looks like LeBlanc hit out.
Did we miss a point for Bam?
Nope. I think, we did. Oh, we've lost the camera.
So I think it's 5-3 for Sister Squad right now. With 4 3/4 to go.
Yeah, so certainly they've got the edge right now.
I think we were just in time to see a catch by Corey Oiko. Play call.
Sister Squad to the line. Missing McNeil there.
And there is a player advantage for Sister Squad. They take it to the line. Deja vu at McNeil.
Yep. That one from Andrew Sick just missing. And now at the full complement of Sister Squad players, they're not able to find the mark, so Bam still needs to work at whittling them down. We've got McNeil, Holzer in the corners. And I believe that's Woodley with the other ball in the middle. And now Lau joining as well. So everybody take an aim. They got Burke.
Solid shot.
So it's still very doable for Bam. They've been in this point, just trying to continue to whittle things down a bit. McNeil, the nice block.
And really, something that you emphasized before of Jocelyn's catching skills. Did a great job while the right side of her court moves forward, and she might do this again. And she strafed over to being a better. Oh, what a catch! Joey right at the line.
Something he's definitely known for, probably the most iconic part of his game.
Exactly. Point LeBlanc. Right at the line. And Woodley with an attempted catch. No dice.
A nice shot from Holzer, just avoided by Eichel.
And one thing I really appreciate there, Oiklo, is he was returning backwards, just kicking his feet out to make sure that, you might think the ball is going to be just missing you, but put that extra effort in so that you're much more sure. And good work on his part by staying on his feet. Advantage.
Okay. Quick note: there is a standings document, I believe that is, in the chat. So if you are interested in seeing what that looked like, see a Google Sheet as we see this point secured for Sister Squad.
Some catches made a huge difference in that set.
Yeah, that one from LeBlanc right up at the line. Again, pretty crucial. It's those catches are a big deal. They swing things quite a lot when they happen. So.
Well, and this is interesting because like a lot of these players will be unfamiliar with one another, and again, going from maybe that intermediate to advanced level, you might be thinking like, oh, this guy, he doesn't really realize he's so exposed. And you go and just lob one over. And, like a trained assassin, Joey just knows what to do there. And so it's an interesting one where you can kind of see, like, because if you know players that are like super catchy, you'll still be just afraid to throw them, even if they look vulnerable.
Yeah, this used to be one of my rec league moves, was just kind of like making a show almost of looking away from a thrower.
Nice.
And then, you just keep them in your peripheral, and if they let it go, you're just like, aha, I saw that. And if you drop it, it looks pretty bad. But if you make the catch, you look like the savvy veteran. So Woodley just telling Wilmot, get out of my way. I need to see things here. And so just a few seconds left. Looks like Lau had out as well. Woodley scoops that ball. Aggressive shot from Lowe.
You kind of tell it's at the end of the match, just getting those balls out. Here we are. We're almost going to be in sudden death. Games within no chance of it turning one way or another. And because it's playoffs, this is the end. It's not like a point differential will matter any.
Yeah, I think everybody in this match is also playing in women's or men's as appropriate, but this looks to be the end of the line for BAM in terms of the co-ed competition. And according to my view of the standings, they did come in undefeated, so this might be their only loss of the tournament, which, good performance, but not your favorite way to end, although they do hit Gray out there.
Yeah. Little backcourt throw from LeBlanc. Team throws over at Wilmot.
Yeah.
And at the very least do enough to knock him off the court. And there goes Woodley.
Yeah, that catch from Quesnel just kind of putting a nice little bit of emphasis right at the end here. And Sister Squad takes it with a football-ish score of 7-3. And so, as mentioned in the chat here, the next game on this court should be, is this for Westerns or versus Turbo Time?
And Eric and I determined we've got to refer to them as Westerns.
Okay.
Saying, is this for Westerns is just so much work, so then just going Westerns?
Yeah, I'm good with that, because it's a little bit silly as a team name, of course.
Yeah.
One of several silly team names, but Sister Squad, really strong performance. They're hugging it out, celebrating a bit on the court. They're going to celebrate until somebody kicks them off. That's what I believe. And so it should just be a few minutes before the next match gets underway.
Great. Should we do a little break, or are you going to keep going through?
Well, I'm okay with a break.
Football? Okay, we'll take a few-minute break and then warm up our voices with some football chatter before the next game.
That's right. So we will pause our vocals. We'll leave you with the view of the courts here as the next warm-ups begin. And we'll be back with you in just